Welcome to the Trash Cats Trashcast. That's going to be all for us today. Go fuck yourself. Welcome to the Trash Cats Trashcast. I'm Richard.
I'm Steven.
And today, our hearts are full of hate.
Okay, did you do your homework?
I did do my homework.
You got your TI-90... Is that what it was called? TI-95?
I don't remember the
Texas
number afterwards.
Instruments calculator?
Yeah.
Yeah, because today, we're doing a little math, some hate math. So here's the question.
Some hater math.
Rough estimate. What percentage of people do you think you hate? Like video game stats from God when you're dead. What percent of people do you think you actually hate?
I mean, probably 10%.
10?
I think that's the higher end of it.
Oh, God, this is going to be wacky then. 10?
What are you thinking? What number are you thinking?
75% plus easy. Like, there's different degrees of hate, but
that is the other part.
But if we're looking at like the world population, different demographics, or what does demographics include? Is that area, or is that also, is it?
I think that's I think that's a vague enough term of like a descriptor of a group of people.
That's what I thought. Like if you say you hate this demographic, it's not specifically like race or something. It can be just like area. No. Okay, cool. Yeah, like different populations or people that believe in. There's enough different groups that I despise their beliefs. That I think I could.
You despise the belief, but do you despise the people?
Yes.
Okay.
We are
well, that answered that question.
We are what we believe. Like, what about like a priest who, his entire life he's working at soup kitchens and like helping poor people, but he believes a bunch of dumb shit. Like, do you hate that person?
I feel like the idea of like I roll my eyes at it, but it's not like to hate something. To me, feels like I give energy to it. It takes energy to hate something. It's something I'm actively doing.
So I get fuel from it.
So I don't.
It gives me the energy.
It takes from me.
I take from them.
Well, good, because you hate them.
Yeah, like, I think this priest, he does a bunch of good things, but I'd still rather him not exist, right? I don't care how many people he helped. He's a contradiction. I want him gone. Banished.
He's a contradiction.
Well, do you want to do the what is hate kind of deal, or do you want to... How was your week? You want to talk about that first?
No, our weeks don't matter.
Okay, yeah. Fuck.
What is hate?
You tell me.
Webster's dictionary defines hatred as an intense hostility and aversion, usually deriving from fear, anger, or sense of injury, an extreme dislike or disgust.
Okay, first off, I do not like this definition.
Yeah.
I feel like this is like a very... I was trying to figure out the right words to describe it. I don't know what it is, but it has a very like beta anger is bad. Like it has a connotation, doesn't it?
Well, but it's also like it's a very clinical. It's like, how do you describe love? How do you describe an intense emotion?
I feel like your
perception of it is different. It's different person to person from what your experience is.
Okay, here's my issue with this. All right, the definition is intense hostility and aversion, usually deriving from fear, anger, or a sense of injury. I feel like this is a very demeaning definition because it usually is from fear, as if the person has to be like a coward, and then it's or a sense of injury, not the injury itself. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like there's a lot of like very subtle connotations that kind of betray the idea that anger, this extreme dislike or disgust, can be valid too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, like, so that was the first it can be used in the different ways. The extreme dislike or disgust would be the second one. And I feel like that is what we typically use it more as.
Much more legit.
But I agree. The first definition does paint it in the light of the person who is experiencing hate is a victim of sorts.
Yeah, or like just a bad like it projects something very subtly, but I don't like when I see mainstream like basic human emotion definitions kind of twisted like that, where it has a there was a word someone, forget if it was coloring or shading, but where you shift the color of the lens to perceive something in what I feel like is an unfair way. Like that first definition very well might be true most of the time, but it kind of betrays the idea that you can just have hate or anger without fear or injury. Like
so
it
you're
can
saying
be more honest than that.
You're saying you hate Webster.
In this case, I sure do.
To put tally 1 to the list.
So hate generally, I feel like when people use hate in conversation, I feel like it's generally just means a dislike.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to call this passive hate. But I feel like there's also true hate, aka death hate, okay? Hatred in which a person's death would be gratifying. I feel like that is true hatred, or hatred at its most pure, but generally in conversation, hate is kind of just a dislike or disgust. Maybe disgust, but definitely dislike.
Mm-hmm.
So today, we're going to do a bit of science, okay? We're going to be scientists, and for our scientific equation, we're going to need a ratio. We're going to figure out how many people we truly hate. So we need to start by having our ratio, the hate ratio. So what is your hate ratio? Percentage of people you hate. How many are in passive hate or death hate?
That's a solid question.
And this is
if we open up the passive hate, that definitely opens the doors for me a little bit. That number gets a little bit bigger.
Okay.
Like anywhere between we haven't done the math yet, so I'm guessing between 45 and 65% of people.
No, ratio out of.
So I'm saying, okay, so it would be 10 to 50.
What the fuck does that mean?
I'm saying,
50?
Okay.
Ratio's 1 out of something.
Okay, well,
right?
Fuck. It's 1 to.
No, what do you mean 2? Where is 2?
You said 1 to something.
No, one of something.
Whatever. Fucking 1 of, and I couldn't think of the second number yet.
Okay, like 1 out of 4. Because if you say 1, 2, 4, that doesn't.
I guess it would be like 1 out. If it was like 50% of people, it would be 1 out of 2. I'm doing the math for you.
No, you're not.
I just said it's like 50% of people. 50% of people is 1 of 2.
So your ratio is 50-50. You think if I asked you how many people do you hate, and you say 10,
passively.
You say there's 10 people in the room. I hate all 10 of them. And I say, well, what percent or how many is passive? How many is death hate? You're saying it's 50-50, half of them.
No, I'm saying.
What?
You don't understand ratios.
No, 1 out of 2 is 50%.
Yeah.
So if there's 10 people, you hate 5 of them.
Yes, you said all of them the first time.
No. Oh my goodness.
And then you said death hate. I'm saying I've passive hate 50%. I'm saying death hate.
The ratio is what?
You don't know your own goddamn formula.
No. The ratio is, let's say you hate 10 people.
Okay.
How many of them is a death hate out of general hate? So
1 of 10.
Okay, so you hate 10 people. 1 of them is death hate.
Yes.
Okay. So your ratio is 1 out of 10.
See, what I was looking at was out of all people,
No.
And you never specified we're not talking about anybody else besides the people we hate.
I feel like it was very clear.
I think this is the end of the podcast.
Okay, so your hate ratio.
I think I hate you right now.
I'm the 1 out of the 10. Your ratio is 1 Steven in a room. Okay, so no, but
making me do math when I'm tired. Go fuck yourself.
Because you need that ratio. I'm not asking you to. Because then you'd just be guessing the total percent. So I'm saying 1 out of 4.
don't act like we're really solving science here.
Yes, we are. This is top tier Sherlocking. Okay, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right, my death ratio is 1 out of 4. So I hate 4 people. One of them is a death hate.
Okay.
Okay, it's like a Dementor's curse on the whole family line. Also, we're going to do this on another episode. Something I've decided, I don't care about anyone's background. I don't care about anyone's history, anything their family's done, where they're from, anything they didn't do or aren't responsible for making decisions. I don't give a fuck. I hate people talking about their culture or background. I'm done with it. It's all gone. Fuck your entire history. Your family doesn't matter. I'm done with it. Done.
Oh, God damn it.
I'm going to prove it.
Prove it. My man's pulling out equations.
Bro, if I have to hear about the Serpentine Mound or some dumb shit like one more time, I'm going to lose it.
Fuck.
All right.
This is proof that we do this podcast for us.
Oh no, my family, all the dead people in my family are going to be so offended. Who the fuck cares?
Fuck them.
All right, so what's the best way to go about this? My thought is we have a ratio. I think we need to choose if we're doing the U.S. population or the whole world. And then I think we should start with the group we hate the most and then go from like bigger populations to smaller and just cutting off people. So U.S. or world?
Well, if we just go U.S., that's going to take away your ability to claim the entire country of Ireland.
Yeah. We got to get rid of those fuckers. All those leprechauns.
But there are a lot of Irish people here, but
they're not Irish enough.
Yeah, they're not enough to hate fully.
Bro, leprechauns and rainbows. Get the fuck out of here, Ireland.
Hey, leprechauns are pretty dope.
Just drunk with fish breath. I hate Ireland so fucking much. I could do a whole podcast on why I hate Ireland.
I mean, this is it. This is what we're doing.
I think we should do the world, because when I think of like what I hate, it's the world. I'm not like a hate nationalist, you know? All places equally.
All right, we'll do the world.
Okay, world population. So
just I think it's a little bit more dangerous, but I'm down.
Yeah. Just carve out these countries ASAP. I think.
God damn.
Dude, if I bump this microphone one more time, I'm gonna lose it. All right, what is the world's population? Right, that's where we got to start, and we're gonna subtract. Yeah,
it's over 8 bill.
8 billy. Oh my god. 7.951 billion maggots. That's crazy.
Do you see something that said 7?
7.95?
No, it's 8.1 now.
Oh, you're right. This is from 2022. What,
yeah, that's
8.1?
8.1 billion.
Oof. That's a lot of zeros. All right. So, if my hate ratio is 1/4 and I hated everyone in the world, that would be 2 billion death hate, 6 billion passive hate. All right. So 8.1 billy. Okay. What's your first? You go first.
All right, let me. I didn't put these in
Neither did I.
the order as described, but I'm going to look up. Let me read these again real quick.
Well, what's the first, when you think of, like, if I ask you,
the first thing I wrote, the first thing that came to mind,
yeah,
people who don't return the shopping cart.
you're going to be very specific, aren't you?
Well, that's I thought of the things that when I think of people doing a thing, the thing that gives me the rage, that makes me want to hate, the thing that makes me think, if this person got hit by a car before they got back into their vehicle, I would probably laugh a little bit.
Okay, so in my mind, the only way to capture that would be because you're basically getting at rude people, right? Inconsiderate or rude, and then you'd have to like guess what or estimate.
Purposely and willfully rude. Yes.
Okay, I feel like there's going to be a lot of overlap. Like if you estimate 1 in 10 people are rude, and then half of those people are intentionally rude about small things, it's like 1 out of 20 people. It's 5%. Of the world, in theory, would not return the shopping cart and not give a fuck. But then that 5% is probably going to overlap with some of your other categories, which like that 5% can count, but we might want to look at big groups of people we can knock off higher percentages of first. So like, let's see. I mean, for me, it's easy. I'm going to go with 99% of Christians. So that way I could rule all of those out. And then as the numbers start getting smaller, something like the shopping cart would be easier to say, oh, we can chuck off 5% of people we think would do this. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's how my brains think, because we're going to get it into such big numbers. But I'm down for whatever method.
I mean, I just looked up a study that found that almost 70% of shoppers abandon their carts.
That's not true.
There's no way that's true.
No. So for the same person that wrote that Webster definition.
Oh, okay. This is like abandon their carts like on online shopping. That's not helpful.
That's actually very funny, because I feel like that, like without you catching it, that would have been a perfect explanation of how rumors get started.
Yeah.
All right. So if I do percent or world population 2024 Christianity, I'm getting these are estimated numbers. Okay. Our scientific method is imperfect at best. I'm looking at about 2.5 billion.
Okay.
So then I need 99% of that, because I'm going to give 1% of Christians won't get the oil. You know what I mean? Like they won't get lit on fire, but they'll just be covered in the oil. But the other 99% are already in flames. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How many fucking zeros is a billion? How the fuck do you type 2.63 billion? 2.5. 2, 5, 1, 2, 3.
2.5 billion should have, hold on.
I know, it's actually
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 zeros.
Yes. Okay. So then times 0.99 for 99%. Okay, I did good in math, okay? I might have misexplained the ratio. Maybe. On the edit, I'm going to figure out who is right or wrong. And I'm going to make a note of it. So that's 2. So I did 2.5, so we're at 2.475 billion. Okay. So I'm going to make a list of the numbers. We're going to subtract at the end. Okay. So start number is 8.1 billion minus 2 4 7 5 0 0 0 0 0 0. It's a good start. So dude, how fucking disgusting is it that out of 8.1 billion, 2.5 billion are Christians? They follow a carpenter. a zombie carpenter. They're like, yeah, 1/4 of our world is that fucking stupid. So right off the rip, the world is not looking very bright.
Yeah.
All right, so what's your next one? I don't know how you're gonna do your math.
Yeah, I wasn't really thinking about it that way. I was just getting out the thoughts.
You just don't believe in the scientific
process? It's all about, you know me, Steven. It's all about beliefs.
Well,
it's all about feelings and beliefs with me.
You can be very abstract, but you're definitely going to have to figure out a way to get some idea of numbers.
Yeah. Well, here's an easy one. Okay. The Beatles.
Okay.
There's 4 of them.
Okay, so you're at 8.1 billion minus 4 people.
Well, I guess there's only
that
one.
Don't return shopping carts.
It's only one left, right? Or is there 2 of them still living?
Just because they're dead, you don't hate them?
Well, I'm just saying, like, I don't need to death hate them. Because they're already dead.
I guess that's fair.
That's valid, right?
When you put it that way.
It's only 2, I guess.
Okay, so now you're at what? 7.99999.
So here's what I'm figuring out.
Okay.
There's no. I figured there would have to be some kind of study of like, or at least some kind, maybe not a study, but like some kind of a comment that was like, oh yeah, I return carts at a grocery store. That's my part of my job. And I would say out of the 350 carts I bring back to the store, I have to go search out during the day for, the 11 of them that are just scattered throughout the lot.
Bro, you're going to...
Like, that's an average. I was trying to find something along the lines of that. I've been Googling this whole time. I havenent found anything.
What a colossal waste of time.
Yep. Hey, this is what you asked me to do.
Bro, we got to find ways.
We're doing today.
We got to find ways to get quick estimates because you're at.
I'm gonna say 5% of shoppers ditch their cart.
Okay.
I think that's a fair, and then I'm just gonna assume that across all of the planet.
What about all the people that don't have a grocery store to shop at? That's probably what, a third of the world? What percent of people don't have what that is a good question. It's probably not a third, but at least 10% of the world doesn't have grocery carts.
3% of the entire Earth's population doesn't return the shopping cart. Can you agree with that? What do you think? It's less than that?
I think that's a reasonable estimate, but I don't know if I don't know. I feel like it.
I think it's reasonable enough that I'm going to commit it to science.
So then you're doing 8.1 billion times 0.97. Well, don't do the math yet. Just keep track of your percentages.
Yeah.
So right now you have 3% of the world.
Yeah.
And I did minus 2.5 or whatever. Do you not hate all 99% of Christians? Even passively? Just that kind?
I don't know. It's like, it's frustrating, but not like in a way that it's like, I feel like it's hate. It's more like, if you ever train somebody to do something and you try to show them how to do it and they keep fucking it up and you're just like, no, it's like this. And then they just keep fucking it up and you're like, you get frustrated, but it's not like,
I've never taught anyone anything.
It's like I'm trying not to be mad at them because like it's almost like they don't know better.
You pity them.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Oh, how condescending. It's just like the guy who wrote the Webster definition.
Yeah.
Now, I get what you mean, but I think I hold people super responsible for the shit they believe.
And that's fair. I think the fact that they believe it shows that there is either like it was kind of pushed on them.
You think it's systemic?
I think so. Well, let me finish. I think there's a part of it where it was like this just kind of always was, and they got used to it and didn't question it. Which that part sucks. That's the part that's like you never questioned it. Or there's a part of it where it's like they haven't really found a reason to think otherwise.
I'm doing faux outrage, but you really are saying it is a systemic thing, right? It's historical, it's systemic. Like this is the world, the situations, the families, the countries, the face they were born into.
That's how a lot of people get, indoctrinated with it is like, oh, I grew up Catholic. I grew up Christian. My parents were this way. My whole family was this way. And that's why we went to church. And that's why I still go to church on Easter is because they did it. And that's why I still have this weird guilt is because they did it. And they put me in Catholic school and now I feel it.
Why does that? I feel like that's not a good enough reason. Like for me, I feel like if you don't figure that out by the time you're like fucking 16, you're like actually stupid as fuck. Like I genuinely it's not that believe that.
But then I don't want to get into the slope of I hate stupid people.
I do.
I don't think
Bro,
that's
they gum up the works. They slow everything the fuck down. They're stupid as fuck. Get them out of the way, right?
Okay. Well, then what about people with like learning disabilities?
They have a good reason. I don't inherently hate all stupid people. I couldn't say that's true, but I do hate people that are willfully
ignorant.
Yeah, yes. Like I'd be very okay.
That's the thing.
Snap, genocide them. Easy.
Yeah, that's the thing that makes it difficult. Is it? But then there's also the thing of like someone who's not I guess then they wouldn't be. I guess you wouldn't consider them a Christian. Someone who says that like they're not. I'm not a Christian per se, but I do believe in an afterlife and a God, just because that's kind of like what
I hold them near as responsible. Like they're. At the last second, I'm deciding if I close in the gas chamber door behind them. I can't decide, right? Like flip a coin, and I'll decide if they make it out or not. Or like they get a gas mask, but they have to stay. They have to witness. Okay, they will bear witness. Now, I think those people. I mean, we've had this discussion before. Those people are really in many ways the backbone of religious organizations. The half believers, the fakers, are the ones that keep everything running. They're the financial support in many senses, or the cultural normers. Like they make it okay and acceptable for someone to be half in, half out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Here's
it's my gas chamber analogy too much.
No, I was sorry. I was thinking, and I think it would be fair to say that I hate religious leaders. Like,
we had this debate on the episode.
Yeah, and we went full circle with it. But here's it didn't end up anywhere. It was great.
We can run it back.
The idea of it's like I just made a joke earlier to somebody about I think I could absolutely handle a cult if my morals would allow me to do so.
Handle a cult? What do you mean?
Like I could see, like, I understand how cults work, right? It's like,
do you mean like you could not be integrated to a cult because you have?
No, I'm saying like be a cult leader. Like, okay, it's a good business model. It's a good way to get a bunch of people to give you everything that they have and make money. If you don't have the moral compass telling you like, hey, this is really fucked up.
You're too compassionate.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. It would be hard though.
I'm sure it would be a lot, but like I like leadership.
That's true. You would have to like lose a bunch of like empathy IQ points to
for
to
sure.
there. Yeah.
It's like I couldn't bring myself to do it because I understand what it is. So anyone who does understand what it is that they're doing, that person is inherently bad to me.
We had this debate.
And I hate them.
I feel like there's a problem with that, though, because we had this debate. You were saying you don't necessarily blame the voters. We were talking about bad politicians, which is always Republicans.
Yeah.
But that you were saying the leaders in the Republican Party are way worse than the voters, right? Because they know what they're doing. They have their hands on the reins.
They have a pulpit to stand on.
And I completely disagree because these people are just representatives, and it's the individual voters that are as equal, if not more, in responsibility. Yeah. And that there always will be another person that, takes that leadership position and reflects the view of their people. Like, it's different when a leader goes rogue or really has enough power not to reflect the voters, but I hold the leadership as accountable as the people that put them there.
I definitely don't disagree with that, but I do feel that if anyone has the ability to exacerbate and to like bring problems, or not to bring problems so much, but to bring new things for people to be upset about and get up in arms about, it's someone who is the representative of a massive group of people. It's someone who has the attention of a massive group of people, rather than each individual person doesn't have that massive group of people that listens to their every conspiracy theory and idea, but that representative does. So they make that choice to then spread disinformation.
I mean, I get what they hold a greater onus, but
right
now, like,
But I understand where you're coming from, of like the reason that person is there, that this bad person is there, is because these other bad people put them there.
Yeah.
They chose them to represent them.
And they'll always pick someone else.
Yes.
So your choices are fine, but you have to find a way to quantify it. Like, if you're going to estimate like what % of people are religious leaders or whatever, and then like try to get an idea of how to quantify that against the world population. So for me, I'm my next one is Muslims, specifically people that follow, not the ethnicity, any of that shit, the religion of Islam, which is another 2 billion. It's 1.9. I'm gonna do a little rounding. Well, if I'm doing 99%, that would literally be 1.7 billion, approximately.
That's so nice and round.
Yeah. Because fuck Islam.
How many? So what was your Christian ratio?
I did 99% for Christians and 99% for Muslims.
Okay.
There's always exceptions.
I'm sorry, Stephen. I asked for your ratio.
What ratio?
Your death hate to passive hate ratio.
That is going to be consistent across all numbers, correct? I'm not coming up with individual hate versus passive.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, so mine's 1 out of 4 of my hatreds are death hates.
Gotcha.
Yeah. One of us. Is something.
Okay, so I want to go back to the Christian thing then, because I think you're right. It's going to be harder to just pick religious leaders and then leave it at that, because I understand where you're coming from on that. It's probably fair in my mind to say 35% of Christians that I like.
Okay. So then take that same number, I think it was 2.5 billion, and get 35%.
Right.
Of that.
Yeah.
All right. So you got 35% of Christians.
Cool.
In your hate group. Is your percent on Islam the same?
I'm going to use that number across the board for religious.
Just curious, where do you get that from?
I feel like a third is a
intuition.
Yeah. That's it's right. Like, it's the, is the world, the more good than bad, or, 50-50, whatever. I'm kind of bullshitting it, but yeah, intuition mostly. Okay. Of like, this is the percentage of people that I feel like I just would not be able to have a rational conversation with.
Mm-hmm. Now, my percentage with the Jewish population is a little different.
Okay.
Similar to Islam, Jewish can be both religion and a people.
Yes.
But Islam specifically, it carries the religion much more.
Mm-hmm.
With Jewish people, I think half of Jewish people are ethnically Jewish, but not religiously.
But
when I refer
they're not
to
practicing Jewish,
well, it's just like their family makeup, like they're not religious. Like half of them aren't religiously affiliated at all. I would estimate, or whatever. Or I'm just dividing the population in half. With Islam, I specifically said like I'm talking about people that practice the religion. So if I'm
correct
doing the Jewish population, 6.3. That number looks low. Let's see.
It's not a super popular religion.
Well, it's not even just a religion, though. That's what's tricky because it's,
that's the whole number.
It includes, yeah.
Well, there was a guy in Germany about 100 years ago that...
they're way smaller than I thought. Estimated at 15.7 billion. Or million. Sorry, million.
13 point what?
15.7. Jesus Christ. Million. 15.7. You got none of the numbers. Like I was having a stroke.
So half of that?
Yeah, so we'll round to 16, and then I'm calling 50%. So 8 minus 0.1, like 7.9 million. That seems really low. Is Christianity and Islam that much bigger than...
Yes.
Is it really?
Yes.
World population, religion, percent. So out of the world population, Christians is 31. That's right. 25.8 for Muslim. Hindu is 15.
That's pretty wild. I mean, there's a lot of people in India. That's fair. It's like
guess.
The third. Is it the third largest or the second largest population per like country?
I'm not sure. Geez, Judaism is like the smallest of like the top 10 religions, basically.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a graph, so maybe slightly up, but
now
damn, it's so small. I thought they were bigger than that still.
Now, here's the thing. I don't think I have any problem with non-Abrahamic religions.
Why?
Because non-Abrahamic religions, not that I've ever seen, try to enforce their wills onto other people.
That's a bias. That's like a numbers bias. There's no way. Think about how many small religions are as pushy, if not more. We just don't see them. Right.
I'm sure there are some smaller religions that do that, but like, for example, I'm going to say Hindu.
Well, the Jews are a great example of that too. Like they actively don't try to bring people in. Like some religions do and some don't. Mm-hmm. And you might be right, but I still think even a less dangerous or like recruity religion, if they believe mystic or kooky shit, they're still equally as dangerous. They're just not in power, or like they have the potential to be as dangerous.
Right. Logical fallacies and whatnot.
Red herrings, steel man, straw man. You've fallen into my bear trap.
Okay. With that being said, I personally don't feel
as threatened, or
I don't feel any hatred towards like a Hindu. Like that, there's nothing there.
I feel like that's almost racism. Like reverse racism.
Reverse racism.
It's like,
I think it's cool.
It's fun. It's like they get the benefit of the doubt just because it's like
it doesn't affect me.
Yeah, or like it's interesting.
Yeah.
Right? Like if we lived there and they were as normal to us as Christians, we would hate them the same.
So are we talking about who we should hate or who we do hate?
That's fair. I think whatever you feel like is like your honest answer. I'm just I think it's an interesting argument. I was kind of prefacing, but it should be just however you feel. So like, I don't even know if I was thinking of like including like percent of people in the world that are religious of any kind, but it seems to be a more complicated question to find an answer than I initially thought. So I was just doing the big ones I tend to focus my hate on.
Yeah.
But so whatever you feel like is your answer is your answer.
I feel like definitely people who believe in things that like fantasy things that are, not supported by any rational thought, and use that as a motivating factor in their life and decisions they make and what they wish for other people. That frustrates me.
For yours is getting abstract. You might just have to do like, what is an estimate of that? Like out of
that's why I'm down with you. I'm just describing like this is why
I got you
feeling this way. Like it does frustrate me, but it doesn't. I don't spend time thinking about what the Hindus want for me.
Like gather passive hate from you.
Correct.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Population Ireland 2024.
Yeah.
Only 5 Is that real? Only 5.3 million? That has to be wrong.
It's so small.
Is it that
Ireland's
small?
very tiny. I think Ireland is smaller than Ohio.
Really?
I don't.
How many people are in Ohio?
I'm basing that on just a map.
It is
looked at in the past.
It is under 5.1 million. What is the population of Ohio?
Definitely higher than that.
That is very surreal, though. Population of Ohio, census report.
I'm gonna guess. Wait! Don't tell me. I'm gonna guess.
Okay.
15 mil.
I'm actually having trouble finding it.
Ooh, it's 11.7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, what was Ireland? 5?
5.
15. No,
it's 5 million.
Jeez. Ohio has 3 times more people than all of Ireland?
Two times. It's 11. A little bit more than two times.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Sorry, say it one more time. What was Ireland?
It was 5 million.
I peed my brains out. 5.
Now we're both stoops.
All right, so I hate 5 million Irish people.
Okay.
5 million leprechauns. Gone. The world may never survive.
Now here's you can help me come up with this estimate.
Okay.
Specifically, I put people who fuck up traffic who are unattentive drivers. This is a huge problem in my life. I drive on average about an hour a day, usually more than that.
All right, you're 1 out of 20 drivers, and what percentage of people drive in the U.S. of adults that drive?
That's a good question.
Half, and then 1 out of 20 of them. So that would be a half times 1 out of every 40 people.
There are 232.8 million licensed drivers in the U.S.
Okay, then of
2021.
I would do 1 out of 20 of them. That would you might have a different ratio. I'd say 1 out of every 20 drivers is a jackass.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can cross Irish off. Now, I do have a specific one I can try to match you with.
that still makes it 11.64 drivers. 11.64 million drivers.
Fucking off with their heads. I hate 100% of people that will wear both stripes and checkers at the same time. Mixing patterns.
Find fashion police over here,
dude.
The fascist fashion police.
It was like the worst thing ever when we were coming up with the scene kids and the emo kids that mixed all the patterns. I'm okay with choosing one, but you can literally not have both. It's the same as being poor. You can be poor or you can be dirty, but you're not allowed to be both. You can have checkers or you can have stripes, but you literally cannot have both.
So what's the percentage on that one, you think?
It's got to be 1%. It's under 5%, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'll be generous and say 1% of the world population.
It's just fashion illiterate.
Yeah. So what's 8.1 billion? I'm just going to estimate 80 million. 80 million, I believe.
God damn.
Which is what? How many Irelands is 80 million divided by
that would be
5 million.
That would be don't tell me 18. No, 16 Irelands.
You actually said 18. Crazy, bro. It's
go fuck yourself.
So I hate 16 Ireland's worth of people that wear checkers,
mismatched patterns,
stripes. Yeah, done with that. Fuck them. I also hate people that wear stars. Anyone that wears a plain star, like the belts with stars, or they have a star tattoo. Oh man. They deserve.
Those are probably honestly they're probably the same people.
It's mostly the same people.
In that 80 million.
Yeah, it's most overlap probably there, so I didn't include it. But that's like cheese grater status. Like you just gotta get it off.
We can go through this short list here.
Do you want?
I'm just gonna rattle a couple off here. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Ted Cruz, Mitch McConnell.
Bad people.
Yeah, if you want just the ones that came to mind.
If you want to generalize it, you could go with like what percent are bad people. I was gonna say though, like we haven't even got to the hard question of like the rapists. Pedophiles, rapists, homophobes, animal abusers, like the real shitty people.
Yeah.
Do you want to get to them, or do you want to start off with Republicans? There's a little overlap. So.
There's some overlap there, isn't there?
Like, what percent of Republicans do you hate? Our one Republican listener is just crying.
It's like, unfortunately, most of them.
95% easy.
Yeah.
I'm willing to be
really gotta be
more generous with Republicans than Christians, but barely. By barely. A 4% margin. How many Republicans? That's where it's tricky, because there's Republicans in other countries, but Republicans, when we say Republicans, refers specifically to U.S. Republicans.
Yeah,
there's people on the right in other. So we need to know how many Republicans.
Yeah, it's like the Republicans in other countries. I mean, I guess that's something there, but like I don't follow those politics. Their rules don't apply to me.
Yeah, sure. I'm looking at a number like 36 million. What is the U.S. population? Does that make sense?
It's 330 million. 36 million does not make sense.
Well, it was registered. like memberships.
Okay.
But what percent of people? I feel like we could say half the U.S., right?
We can't say half because there's a significant portion of those people are children.
But they're going. Half of them are going to be Republicans. Like what percent of U.S.
Don't give them that death sentence like that, Steven. Give them hope.
I have no problem sentencing them early. I'm just doing future homework. It's like getting ahead in a class you hate.
Here, the number.
How many people voted for
Republican voters?
Here's the best way to get the answer. How many? Let's just use the number of people that voted for Trump last.
Oh, there you go.
That's like an easy estimate number. How many votes Trump last? Because him and Biden got the all-time highest vote numbers ever on the popular votes. Right? I believe so.
Yes, they did.
2020,
74 million.
The 2020 presidential election, saw the highest voter turnout by a percentage since 1990, with each of the two main tickets receiving more than 74 million votes, surpassing Barack Obama's record of 69.5 billion from 2008. Biden received more than 81 million votes, the most votes ever cast for a candidate in a U.S. presidential election. So Trump was 74 million,
yes.
Approximately.
74.2. If you want to get more specific, but
hey, I like specifics. Okay, so 74.2 million people gone. 74.2 milli. Mega hogs. The hogs, baby. All right, hogs.
I was going to put one of my other prompts here was people who abuse their pets, but that just sums it up with that.
That's what I had to. People that abuse their pets and people that abuse their children. How about let's do do you got anything? I was going to do percent of the world that hates gay people. I feel like that's something we can get a number to. Percent. Now, when we do our tallying, we're going to have to do like some approximation accounting for where we have overlap. Like percentage of people that hate gay people, like factoring in our other numbers like Republicans or Christians. How's the best way to phrase this Google search? Percent of the world that's homophobic, percent of the world that hates gay people, percent of the world that, parts of the world that being gay is illegal, percent of the world that hates. I typed in percent of the world that hates gay people. I doubled down. Apparently.
Gay, officially gay. You're not gay until you're gay.
Pew Research Center, The Global Divide on Homosexuality. Let's see. The question on the survey was, should society accept homosexuality? 80% of Canada said yes. 60% of the US said yes. What year is this? 2013.
A bad year to be gay.
I don't know. I mean, it was probably like
before you could get married.
Yeah, but I wonder if those were like in the years there was like an upswing in acceptance.
I'm
like
sure
before 2010. Like I don't know when things like first started to like.
I was mostly making a joke about just the year.
I'm just thinking like when did things like really start to shift socially? I'm not sure like what years that things like started to accelerate a bit.
I'm typing in world homophobia.
This is going to be a hard one. Yeah, it's easy to get research by the country, but to get us total.
Someone's had to have done this math for us.
Yeah, it's just finding it. This Pew Research thing looks like it has it somewhere. Just like... Yeah, I'm mostly curious about the abusing pets and...
I figured we roped that into the Republicans thing because that was, there's that, what's Chrissy Gnomes in the
dog
thing for shooting her
dumb bitch.
14-month-old dog. So
how stupid. She doubled down and then tripled down. Yeah. She thought it made her look good. She's so fucking stupid.
Someone said they think that she had somebody like schedule her all these interviews that she's supposed to go on. So now she before the book came out for her book tour, and now she has to do these interviews for the book tour, and she keeps showing up and they keep asking her about shooting the dog and going to meeting Kim Jong-un.
Her team put out a statement that she wouldn't say she was lying, but she had to admit she had never met him. Which is pretty wild to be caught in such a big lie. And then the dog thing, she keeps doubling down. Oh, well, the voters that live on farms and ranches would understand. It's like she didn't say she shot the dog because it was a dying dog, like something that could be acceptable on a farm. She shot the dog because she didn't like it.
Yeah.
Just so fucking stupid. Although, if you eat meat... you really can't blame her much without being a hypocrite. So, fuck it. Why is this so hard to get an estimation number? Comprehensive data on hate crimes and state-sponsored violence against LGBT people is just non-existent in a lot of countries, says this advocate group leader. Quote, the most consistent violence tends to actually be where there is the least government documentation of violence and the least civil society presence. Homosexuality is still a crime in 72 countries, and even countries with no legal barriers, such as the US, record shocking levels of hate crimes. There were 53 transgender murders in 2015. Honestly, in the US, the numbers, I think, get exaggerated sometimes, but none of it is acceptable. I just need a fucking percent, though, okay?
Mm-hmm. We can do it like this.
It's got a fourth of the world, easy, right?
Yeah, so homosexuality is illegal in 74 countries. How many countries are there in the world?
Isn't it like 240? And then there's like a bunch of like small random shit. Countries in world.
195.
I was high. Okay. So 72, that's like what? A little under a third?
74. 195 minus 74 is 121. No, I did that wrong. 195.
It's a little under a third. I'm going to go 30% of the world, easy. I'm calling it. The Stevens Pew's Research Center just decided 30%. So 8.1 billion. 8 zeros. times, if it's 30%, we need to keep 70. So times 0.7, right? No,
we want to find what it is. So times 0.03. Yeah, times 0.3, correct.
So 2.43 billion gay haters. Okay. Yeah, we're making progress. You pick the next one, and then I'm going to do my next big one.
Okay.
Homophobe.
Let's see here. you gave me this. People who subscribe to the Apple Cinematic Universe.
Do you mean Marvel? Apple. Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck. You're so wrong.
I don't hate those people. It's unfair to say that I hate those people. I just thought I thought that was funny. You said Apple Cinematic Universe, and I was like, I have to write that down somewhere.
You guys missed a big off podcast debate we had. Here's the thing. As someone that uses both an Apple and a PC, I bought them both. Okay, not for work. I just like different things.
You're bitextual.
I am that is outstanding.
I thought you'd like that.
Apple computers are nicer than PCs, but iPhones are fucking garbage, and you're an idiot if you have one. And I say that knowing 73% of our listens are off iPhones. So,
all you guys. Fucking shitheads out there.
Yeah. What are you doing?
That's everyone I work with has Apple phones. This is very recent, very real. So we have an event calendar for work that has all of our all the truck events and stuff like that, and we do most of it through a Google Calendar. But because we have people that are we're gonna have to end up setting them up with a domain. We have our own, business domain.
.biz.
Yeah. .biz, boy. We have... that would be way better. We have... we're going to make them a new calendar that we could share across all platforms. And it was okay, it's just easier to do it this way. But the problem is that my boss did it in iCloud. And I can't access that.
Yeah, so, a loser.
I'm the man out in this one.
That's annoying.
But yeah, we'll figure that out. What did I have next here?
I'm doing what percent of people are pedophiles.
Now here's the one.
And I'm going to offer an additional ratio.
So because I feel like there's the argument lately of the people who are pedophiles. It's not something that they choose or control, rather the ones who act on it.
Yeah, non-offending pedophiles are very different than offending pedophiles.
Correct.
Sure. Yes. I have a very nuanced opinion on pedophilia, okay? And I have somehow resisted in us doing an episode this long already because it is a fascinating topic that is so misunderstood that deserves better consideration and discussion in general. It is one of the most confusing and difficult things to decipher ethically, socially. I don't know. I know you know what I mean, yeah. But so that's why I was saying I was going to offer even an additional ratio, because, like I said, 95% of Republicans. What percent of fucking pedophiles should be hated? And I feel like I'm going, and this is generous, I feel like I'm going to go 9 out of 10, because I do think there is probably 1 out of every 10 that are non-offending, and it is a mental illness or defect or thing they are cursed to have to struggle with, and that they maybe 1 out of every 10 never offend. Or
do you think it's someone. Only 1 out of 10 that never offend?
Honestly, I think that's pretty accurate.
I guess that's hard. That's hard to tell, because if you're basing it on people who are openly admitting to.
Here's the thing: is the percentage to qualify. Most people that sexually assault a child are not pedophiles. It is I think it's something like 1/4, but the majority of people that assault a child are people that were in the position to. They had the opportunity, and they don't technically, medically qualify as pedophiles. To qualify as a pedophile, it's a pretty strict criteria that you have to meet multiple benchmarks, and most people that assault minors technically aren't.
Okay.
There's also hebophiles or whatever. It's
yeah.
Which is what there's an overlap with most men's sexual desires, where you're not interested in a child, but sexuality, like morally, ethically, like logically, you may never cross that barrier, but your sexual interest in someone doesn't change based off of their age, give or take a day, for example.
Right,
like if you don't know. So there's different criteria. And I from my experience, because I've unfortunately had to meet quite a few pedophiles, and I truly think 8 or 9 out of 10 do offend, or at the very least use explicit material, which is a form of an offense, in my opinion. But I think it's also more people struggle with it than the numbers show. And I do think there is approximately, my guess, my instinct is about 10% never offend.
Okay.
I don't know if that's accurate, but that's my intuition. And I think those people deserve a lot of compassion. And there's an argument a lot of people make that even the ones that do offend deserve compassion, because realistically, they're not going to go to prison forever unless they did something particularly heinous. And it's not like they wanted to be affected by that. It's got to be like one of the worst things to have to combat. And they're like battling it forever.
Mm-hmm.
And they are going to have to live in our society. So like we need better ways to deal with them. Like
right.
The reality is we can't wood chipper them, despite how much people may be tempted to make that argument or whatever. So we need better solutions. But I think I can say I hate 9 out of 10 without much guilt.
That's fair. So 9 out of 10 equates to, and this is where it gets, like I said, it gets harder, because it's like, how many, like, what's the population on that? Like, based on, like, where's that number coming from?
I'm looking at a couple different things. It is a hard number to get a clear answer. It's about 5% of men and of like minuscule percent of women. So then you would have to figure out what is 5% of men and then 9 out of 10 of them. So these are very rough estimates.
I mean, are we going to just split 8.1 in half?
Yeah.
And then do 5% of that?
If we're super accurate, aren't there more men than women in the world? Or women than men? I think it's like 52 to 48% or something.
Is it really that much of a difference?
I think it's like a 2% difference, but I might be wrong. Percent of men versus women world. The number of men and women in the world is roughly equal, though men hold a slight lead with 102 men for every 100 women. So I was off the other way. So it's like less than 2%.
So we want to say...
We'll say 50-50.
Yeah.
So that's
400... That's
4 billion. Let's just say 4 billion. And then we need 5% of that. Right?
Yeah.
So 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, how many zeros is
9. Be 9 in that case.
And then we need 5%, so times 0.95.
Times 0.05. Because you're just looking for the 5%.
To keep, you're right.
That's 200 million.
Wait.
That's just a little bit less than the population of the U.S.
4 billion is 4 and 9 zeros, right?
Correct.
And then we need 5% of that.
Which is 0.05. If you were to type in
you're right.
0.95, you're going to get 95% of...
Yeah. So it is 200 million.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. They can be chipped, that person. Fed to gerbils.
I had a point a minute ago that I was going to make, and I forget what it was.
We've hit...
Probably not important.
Most of my big ends. I have 6 out of 10 crackheads, 7 out of every 10 alcoholics, and then we didn't do 9 out of 10 of the pedos, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So
yeah, we gotta write that down. So 200 mil
times
be 0.1?
0.1?
0.01. No, you're right. Yeah, 0.1.
0.1. So it'd be minus 200. So it'd be 180. 180 million. Just saved a couple. You're welcome. Now that didn't include. What about? This is getting dark. What about sexual assault? We could just. I feel like we just double
that number.
Yeah.
Give it to the next person.
So 180. I'm gonna call it a cool 300 million. Easy, right? That's got. I bet that's way more accurate than I.
What was the number you came up with?
300 mil. It's got to be happen twice as much as the other shit, right?
Heard 300 mil.
Easy breezy 300 mil.
Okay.
Percent of soldiers. Because here's the question.
What a segue.
Well, we know what they get up to in the desert. Okay, soldiers and cops.
Okay.
What's your hate? What percent of them do you hate?
This is definitely tougher to answer because I do recognize the amount of videos I see online of like cops being shitty people is overwhelming because no one's making videos of cops being good cops. Because that's not interesting.
You just made our one Republican listener clap.
Yeah, it's like one just slow clap in the back of the room.
Cops can be good people.
I mean,
no, I'm with you. It's just there's what makes them want to be a cop in the first place? What draws them? They're a part of this fucking shit power structure. We need law and order. Like, that is true. We need some form of law and order. But I don't know. The only people I can imagine that are good cops or soldiers are the people that go into, like, in 2024, are people that go into it thinking they can be an exception. They can be one that makes a change for the better. And that thought is, like, so fucking stupid and naive that it makes me distrustful of them to begin with. But we can't hate them all. But I'm a very high percent. I'm even a higher percent on soldiers than I am police. Soldiers are worse than cops.
Fair.
But I'm going to go cool 9 out of 10. Right.
Let's say it's same as
right
the
I feel like you're lower, but you cut people slack.
Well, here's my problem. I just looked up the Google search I did. I didn't expect to get anything from this, to be fair. How many police officers support reforming the like training process? And
it's an interesting question.
Like, instead of it being what is it, like 8 months or some shit of police academy, like it should at least go to school, or be in training long enough to.
Oh, so you want to increase funding to police?
I think they should pay to go to their own college just like every other person in America.
That's a completely illogical thought, right?
That if you want to work in...
And most police, you do have to have a bachelor's degree. Not all. Or it might be an associate. You have to have I think it's a 2-year degree.
A bachelor in what? Or an associate's in what?
Criminal justice, law. Like, there's different things that can qualify. But typically...
And that's so okay, so you have to learn... I mean, how much of that do you have to go through to be a lawyer? You know what I mean?
It's not the same.
But here's what I'm saying is you take that's a fraction of what you have to go through to finish law school and all that. You take a fraction of that, and then you take that person who's, dropping out of law school, 8 months of, training, and then they're like, okay, cool, now you can go wave a gun in people's face. I'm saying
quite sure what your point is.
I'm saying they should be given more training in handling, situations.
I don't disagree, but where you're going to run into, think of like things with like the George Floyd riots and stuff, like Black Lives Matter. Like the tricky part is like if we want better police, we have it. The argument by Republicans, I'm very divided on this. The argument by Republicans is if we want better police, we have to spend more money on their training. Like they have to be held to higher standards, which costs a lot of money. It's a lot of extra training programs.
But what that training is training after they've become cops. I'm saying before they're allowed to become a cop.
But part of that training is they are paid to go to those things, or else there would be so low of an incentive to become a cop in the first place.
And that's a good thing, because then you'll have a lower number of shitty cops. You'll have people that actually want to be there because this is what I want to help and protect people.
You say that, but you don't have good cops when you don't have enough of them. If a cop is completely outnumbered on their route all the time, you're a lot less likely to have good cops. And I don't like cops, but these are like valid arguments against the critiques of like defund the police, because I'm not like, I feel like I'm kind of neutral on like whether they get or lose funding, but we need some form of reform.
Well, here's the thing. If they are actually held to a higher standard before they become a cop, then I don't disagree that they should be paid a reasonable sum of money, considering that. I think that it's fair to assume that this is a high risk job that deserves a good pay, but
now you're arguing they should get paid.
That also denotes having qualified training to qualify that.
What I'm saying is, I'm not saying I disagree with you, but I am saying in our culture today, for that to be the case, what you're suggesting, you would have to argue that we both need to increase funding to police and that we need to pay police better. And I'm saying that is an argument that right now is very counterculture. That is a difficult argument to make.
I understand that. Yes, I absolutely understand that.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah, like, I'm not. I don't know where I fall completely. It is just it is like one of the hardest issues, because whatever a person's like idea of reform to make it better, it is going to be a fucking dogfight against the other side to justify it or to vote it through, or like to have a big swing in changes or reform with police. Is just like, it's a fucking nightmare.
But the point I was getting at with this was what I was looking at was that what I was looking for was a number of like how many cops are like, hey, this was way too easy to become a cop, and like we should have more training on how to handle these situations in a better way.
I don't think that's
what I got was how many like building up these training mazes and ammunition galleries and shit. Like basically training, they're wanting to train more on using their weapons and stuff.
Yeah,
that's the first thing that came up. What I'm saying is, where I started with all of this was I was looking for a number. I did not find that number. What I instead found was something that made me think, oh, actually, I probably hate more cops than I think that I do.
Yeah. My whole thing is, I don't think they necessarily need more or less funding, more or less training before it's like reallocating what the resources go towards.
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
I think we would find a ton of middle ground there. I'm with you though, because it is like so complicated. I feel like I could make, as a person that generally hates cops, but not all, or there are, like, ACAB fucking sucks. It like is a disservice to the left. But I do hate most cops, and do wish things could be different, but I also feel like most of the people that hate cops don't have valid reasons for hating them. And
Right.
it feels silly when those people are on our side sometimes. And I don't really know what the solution is with policing, because it is like one of the biggest like ethics and philosophy questions. Like, how do we have a society? Like, how do we maintain order? And it's like, well, we need people to enforce it. We need protectors. We need defenders or whatever. How do we do that? We give them authority. How do we keep authority from being abused? You can't. How do we, like, it is so fucking confusing. And yeah, being a cop today would really fucking suck, but it should suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the ideal like model would be that police are essentially looked at as like for a lack of a better term, like guardian angel things. Like they should be like rare defenders where they're never acting proactively, but they're acting responsively, like only in response to things, like no active proactive policing, but instead they're the people you can't expect to always be there, but that hopefully their role is that they occasionally can be the defender we really need, type of thing, which would take like a massive culture shift to ever be.
Exactly.
Like, I don't want my police to have to solve murders. Like, that's stupid. It's so stupid. Like, they're not good at it. Like, they can't be forced to solve all crimes that already happened, prevent all future crimes, and actively, like, they can't be past, present, and future tense policing. It's just, it doesn't make sense. Like, these things need to be segregated better or differently.
Exactly. Divide the work into
multiple roles.
Into what it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. Dissolve the police.
Maybe.
That's not the right word.
Shatter.
Yeah, shatter. That sounds more violent, but yeah.
All right, so I got 75.5 million military members worldwide. I have no idea if that's accurate, but we're going to go with it.
That's of all militaries?
Yeah, military and paramilitary personnel in the world was 75.54 whatever million. This includes 30 million active military, 20 million reserve military, and 25 paramilitary throughout the world.
Wait, what was that number again? The larger number?
75 million.
Jesus.
Which seems kind of low. I'm not sure. But we'll roll with it. And then, how many U.S. police? How many police U.S.? 708,000. 780,000. Does that seem low? Sometimes it's hard to know if numbers feel high or low.
Because on one hand,
well, people like
high, but on the other hand,
when we talk about police abuse, like how many times police kill a pedestrian, like it is so much lower than people think it is. That it
even if it happens once every day for a whole year,
for how many people there are in our country,
that's still 365 people.
It's the same argument of like school shooters. Like, it is really bad when it happens, but this is a very small problem on the larger scale of society. Like,
if you're putting it in percentages,
yeah, like it is just such a minor thing for like for every single school in the US to have metal detectors or armed guards or all these different like defense things that are in the news when like steel-plated book bags and shit. Like, what that is it's a racket to sell a bunch of fucking armor book bags. Like, it is not out of care for these kids. The percentage, it's just so stupid, the overreaction to like What we need is a proportional reaction on like a society level that gets at the root of like why kids are struggling to the point of mass murder.
Exactly.
Not fucking metal detectors and millions of dollars spent at every school in this massive country for like a relatively small handful of kids that are unfortunately going to get gunned down regardless of the security changes.
Right.
Does 708,000 make sense for police?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound off.
Yeah, I know in general it's always a smaller number of law enforcement than we think exist. At least for me. Alright, so we got our police. To be honest, what we have here is most of the big ones for me that I'd be willing to make estimates on.
So are you
remaining?
Are you going to take a percentage of either one of the military or the police, or you're just going all in 100%?
I was going to do 9 out of 10. So I will shave off some numbers. I'll make that a 70. I'll make that a... just guesstimate. I'm going to get a little messy. A little Picasso with these numbers. Okay. All right. So now
75 mil takes it down to 67.5 mil.
Mm-hmm. Now, I definitely can do 100% of people that like the band Fish. That's an easy one. How many Fish fans? Do they spell it with a PH too?
Yes.
That was my question in the form of evidence. What I should do is check out the fan page of the biggest Fish Facebook group. I have perfect number. Okay, this is interesting. I'm getting a Reddit thread about how many Fish fans actually exist. Apparently they call them fans. P-H-A-N-S. And the exact number, according to the Fish census of 2022, was 769,000. So about the same amount of people that we have as police in the U.S. are Fish fans. And I don't think there's much overlap.
I don't fucking think so.
We're going to toss them into the hate bucket. 76 Fish fans. Any other big groups? Animal abusers? Well, we could do people that eat meat and then take a percentage. People that are percent of people that are anti-gun or anti-drug, anti-abortion. My 3 favorite vices.
I mean, there's so much overlap in that with, like, the anti-abortion one. You're definitely going to find overlap with, like, Christians and the Republicans, and it's like all.
What's your top 3, or what rank would you do abortion, guns, and drugs? Like, if you could do,
like, which one do I want the most?
Yeah, let's just rank them. Like, if you get to do all 3, what order do you do it, man?
Abortions are top tier. S tier. Drugs, also S tier. Guns, I'm going to go B tier.
Lame. First you do the drugs, then you do the guns, then you end up at the abortion clinic. That's how
you just wind up there. You do
wake
both.
Up there.
You do the guns and drugs. You get the guns and drugs, and then you spawn at the local abortion center.
Do a drug deal at the abortion center. Yeah. See how the day shakes out. Like every Saturday. 98% of Kanye fans. I'm ahead of the curve on that. I've been hating him for a long time.
Yeah, he was never good.
Or we can just do +1 Kanye at the end.
Oh, Steven, here's a topical bit. What are your thoughts on the Kendrick and Drake beef?
Don't give a fuck. They both are shit rappers who talk about their belief in God way too often to have anyone that deserves listening to them. How the fuck does anyone like these fucking losers? They're so fucking stupid. Kendrick can kind of rap, but
he's always better than Drake.
I guess. Drake makes better, like, music over, like, sound, like, mastering, like, beats and shit. Kendrick is a better rapper, but they both talk about their pretend God that they don't give a shit about. Any rapper that talks about God as often as either of these two fucking losers do, I hope they both shoot each other the fuck up. I hope it ends in a bloody gang war where they're both dead and we don't have to listen to their stupid shit anymore.
Okay, well put.
Get killed. How do you rap about God and then killing people in the same songs? It's so fucking stupid. Right? I love God so much. I hope my rap beef goes well. Maybe God can help me aim these bullets. So fucking cringe, dude. They're like little kids who got too much power and money, and then they just like are spoiled little brats all the time. Fucking Tech 9 and Brother Lynch would end them both, okay?
End them both.
We need real rap to make a comeback. Okay?
Isn't Lynch putting out a new thing?
Yeah, it's disappointing. He's not the best example. He's doing all the production on the new album, which honestly, it sounds good. John thought the production sounded good, but it's the old school hip hop sound. It's
okay.
It's Seasons of the Sickness too.
Okay.
Well, so it's the old style, but modern production. But old hip hop beats fucking suck. Okay, they fucking suck. I don't need a 20-year-old like style of beats and instrumentation. Like, get a real producer, get Seven or whatever Rob, whatever the fuck from Strange Music, and put out another Hannibal Lecter shit. Like, I don't understand. Hip hop beats fucking suck, and all hip hop fans deep down know it. But they fell in love with the rhymes, the flow. It's fucking trash. Grow the fuck up. Pay a real producer. Don't do it yourself, and get some cool shit. That said, he's rapping good. I think he's sober now, and this album it could be good. It's just not the aesthetic I hope from him. And Tech 9's just goofy as shit since he became popular or whatever.
What was the number you had for Kanye fans?
+1. I hate Kanye so much, I'm not even going to extend my hate to his fan base. I
just Kanye.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Also, listen to Chaotic Steel.
Oh, absolutely.
Good. He's better than fucking Kendrick and Drake combined. Okay?
Yeah. When's that
Tell
beef
Kendrick
gonna start?
I said it, too. What?
I said, when's that beef going to start?
Oh, it'll happen. It'll happen. I hate 50% of all fans of steampunk.
Oh, hold on. Wait.
It's a very divisive fan group.
Now, there has to be overlap between you not liking mismatched patterns and steampunk.
I don't know. Steampunks aren't big on patterns. They're more on, like, brass gears.
They're really big on brass gears.
My brass gears
Clockwork shit.
Don't match my fucking stainless steel seals of my steam pipe.
Now, let me give
the locomotion's all off.
Let me offer this.
Yeah,
I'm
just doing 50K.
I think just to throw in just cause
50K,
just a little seasoning salt on there. Yeah. Just 50K seasoning salt. Let me offer this. When you see, like, if you see like steampunk stuff that's like functioning, like
there's some cool
functioning
shit.
thing, it can be very cool.
That's why I said 50%.
Yeah, when you glue a gear to a top hat, it's not cool.
It should be used as a weight to keep your body at the bottom of the ocean. That's what 50% of all steampunk parts are good for. Weighing your corpse to the bottom of a murky lake. Okay?
That's fair.
Bringing it to the scrapyard. Okay, that's all your rusty little metal parts from a parallel world are good for. That said, most people that believe in magic, okay, witches, Wiccans, any...
Oh, that real
not
magic?
Levian.
You're not talking about magicians. You're talking about people who...
Magicians are an iffy crowd, but they get the pass. Yeah, I'm talking about mystic magic, okay?
Yeah.
We'll go 200K.
just adding that. Did no resource checking on that? That's just a gut feeling?
I'm doing 300K just for you saying
just
that.
You're right. That was a little off.
We're on to instinct now. Intuition and instinct. We're low on time. Doctors, I'm going 6 out of 10 doctors are scumbags, okay? I work in the medical industry. I know it better than ever now. They're all scammers, little liars. They don't care about their patients. Fuck 6 out of 10 doctors.
Now, here's a question. Are they scammers or are they working within the system the way the system was designed to work?
They're like therapists that got burnt out and stopped caring.
Okay.
Good intentions, but greedy, and then they no longer care. How many doctors worldwide, 2024? Too many.
Too many.
We need a world with less doctors, am I right? This is going to be impossible. How many doctors are there worldwide? 104 million health workers, including 12.8 million physicians. We'll go with physicians, residents, and physicians' assistants even. PAs may give a pass.
Did they get a pass?
I'll give them a pass because they might not be a doctor in the long run, and PAs tend to be cooler than the docs. So I'll call
they're not all worn out and don't give a fuck yet.
They got fresh blood. 13 mil. Doctors, lawyers, 8 out of 10, easy. We're gonna say that's. I'm just gonna call. I hate 10 million lawyers. Easy. Easy peasy call. Easy. 10 million lawyers, garbage, okay? The rest you're safe for now. All right, what else we got? Because then we're going to have to total this and then
I've been
percentage.
Adding as I go here.
Well, I haven't. Okay. 100% of people with lion tattoos. That's a couple mil, right? 2 mil. People with bad... No, 7 mil.
Said the man with the zebra print on his arms.
And it's beautiful on me. Okay.
Is that your tattoos are scared of the lion tattoos?
No. Because most lion tattoos suck. And why did they get it? They're like, oh, it's loyal. It's fierce. I'm a fucking king, bro.
it's a fucking kitty cat.
I'm doing 7 mil of people with garbage tattoos. Okay. Anything from stars to ladies' names that left them. What else suck? Other stars.
I feel like this is also
Bible verses.
This gets into what we talked about earlier of do we hate people who are stupid? Or do we
The answer's always going to be yes.
Yes. Or is it just people who are willfully ignorant? Is it both?
Both. Yeah. Stupid has lots of caveats, though. Willful ignorant has 0.
Yeah, agreed.
How many people are convicted of abusing animals?
That's a number I want.
How many people abuse animals 2024? I feel like we'll get yearly rates, but I don't think we'll get a good...
all time.
Yeah. The Humane Society of the United States estimates that nearly 1 million animals a year are abused or killed in episodes of domestic violence.
So
they were married to a chicken and they just beat it? Like, what the fuck sentence is
so
that?
let's do this. Hold on a minute. If we take
this number says 10 million a year.
That's a big difference.
This is the Shelter Animal Counts, the national database. estimate that, sadly, it's estimated that approximately one animal faces abuse every minute somewhere in the U.S.
In the U.S., oh my God.
Below, you'll find more disheartening animal abuse facts and statistics. An estimated 10 million animals die from abuse or cruelty every year in the United States. I believe that. 10 million a year for all the U.S.?
Just the U.S.?
Think about, countries where they eat dogs. It's got to be astronomical.
So,
or just countries that, like rabies, like the countries that had wild dogs, there's going to be skyrocket abuse levels.
So here's how I have a couple propositions on how to do this. We can take that number.
10 mil.
And then we'll say the average life expectancy of a person. So the average, the average oldest person alive has been around for 77 years.
What's the average U.S.? What's the average age worldwide, death age, life expectancy?
And worldwide is, I don't know.
71.33 years.
Okay.
The worldwide
so we'll round to 71.
Okay.
And we'll say
times 10 million.
10 million times 71.
But then we have to divide that by something.
For what?
Right. If we get 10 million because
10 million a year,
but it's not 10 million people abusing 10 million animals. It's probably one person abusing 10 animals. So I think we do 10 million times 70. So 70 million divided by 10, 7 million. That's my abstract. And then we round up to 10 million and get back to where we started.
Yeah.
I think we could say 15 million. 15 million people abused an animal this year?
Yes, I 100%.
Easy.
Yeah.
And they can go. The rest, we'll catch you next time. We did child sex abuse. I feel like that. Let's throw another 10 mil in for physical abuse.
I said 10 mil in for physical abuse.
Yeah, just a cool 10 milli. What percent of people talk too loud? Because I hate them.
The country,
2%?
People in most of the people in the U.S.
Loud talkers.
That's actually apparently that's a thing in most a lot of other countries is they hate they don't like American people because they're loud.
We're boisterous. We're rude. Loud. Yeah.
We're just a bold people.
I'd say. I'll be generous.
We got freedoms you couldn't believe, son.
I'll do 3% of 8 billion people talk too loud or too boisterous or rude.
3% of 8 billion people.
Yeah.
I get 3% of the 8.1 total is, I actually have that number written up here. I have that already for the people who don't return the shopping cart.
Okay.
243 million.
Okay. So we both got there at different reasons.
Yeah.
243. I'm worried I'm going to go negative.
You're going to go negative? What do you mean?
I end up hating more people than exist. All right, here's my last group. Do you got any other populations?
No, I'm agreeing with a lot of the ones you're bringing up.
And then we're going to total. I hate hard men.
So Eric Hahn?
Yeah, but what percent of men do you think are hard men?
Well, here's the thing. We've discovered in the podcast that he is not actually a hard man. He actually fits the description more of the people that he seems to hate.
Sure, but we're going by people that think they're alphas or want to be hard men, right?
Yeah.
Not that they necessarily are, but the type of men that think they're hard, that think they're alphas, the boss type guy. I hate those people.
The type of guys who think alphas are soft. The sigmas.
I think 1 out of 10. Easy. Like, I feel like it could be
1 out of
higher.
10 people on the planet?
No, 1 out of 10 men.
Okay.
So if we do 8 billion halved, 4 billion, 1 out of every 10, which is 4 billion
0.1
divided by 10. 400 million?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
It sounds right to me.
I don't know if that's right. I'm so bad when there's that many zeros.
You did 4 billion divided by
10.
By 10.
So it's minus.
It should be 4 and then 6 zeros. Or if she did 400 million, it should be 8 zeros.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, chop their dicks off. Done with them. And then I'm trying to think of like a group of women I hate that much.
Just to even out the...
It's like harder to get to. Yeah. Like the sexism. Like gold diggers. It's like, I don't care.
I feel like so much of that was covered in the Republicans and Christians.
Men get a little bonus, I guess. I think I'm good with those numbers.
Yeah.
Right, you want to do the totals?
Absolutely, yeah.
This is going to get tricky, though. All right, so 8, 1, fucking how many zeros?
For billion?
Yeah. 8100, 8 zeros.
Yeah.
8.1 billion. All right, so are you doing yours separate?
I've done mine already.
Okay. Then help me with mine. So now I'm 8.1 billion minus 2.
It's 2.47 billion, right?
Money sent off the Christian.
Okay, gotcha.
And then 1.7 billion Islam, which is
1,700,000,000,000.
1.7 billion Islam, 16 million Jews.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
5 million from the country of Ireland, which is the whole
Cool.
country of Ireland. 74.2 million mega voters, Republicans, people that were willing to vote for Trump.
Got it.
2.43 billion homophobes. Now, I feel like we should do a percent of that since we're covering so many religious people. Or else I might be getting too high. You know what I mean? Let's call it 1.5 because there's so much crossover with Christianity, Republicans, and Islam. Maybe, or just 1 billion? What do you think?
What did I put for that?
2.43 billion was the number we chose.
Okay, well that's what I calculated into my.
But I think ours
so
are different, so maybe do a billion for me because there's so much overlap.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. 180 million. I forget what the fuck that was for, though. Yeah, 180 million. Neglected to write which one that was. And then 300 million.
Okay.
And then 70.5 million soldiers.
70.5 million?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm doing a little rounding. And then 658,000 police.
Okay.
769,000 fish fans.
Okay.
Plus one Kanye.
Got it.
500,000 or 50K steampunks.
Okay.
Oh, what was this? What did we do after steampunks that I have 299,000? Or 299,000. I forget what that was for. I think it was it wasn't doctors or lawyers, but it was one of whatever he did after steampunk. 299,000.
Okay.
and then 13 million doctors.
Okay.
10 million lawyers.
All right.
And then my notes are so bad. 7 mil of garbage. What was that? what was that on? 7 million. And then 50. I think we did 15 million on animal abusers. Right?
Yes.
And then 243 million.
The 243 million was people who were allowed.
Okay. Yeah, 243 million.
Total that in.
Still not sure what the garbage was, but and then 400 million alpha dogs.
What was it? The 10 million garbage?
7 mil. I forget what that was.
Oh, was that sexual abusers in general?
Yeah, that might have been it. We were doing a rough estimate on that.
I got 243 mil, and then what was after that?
400 million men, alphas, hard men. I feel like I'm pretty close to 8 billion here. Maybe I'm guessing this is like 6.
Is that all of your numbers?
That is the total.
That is 6.5.
Okay.
So you are at 6,510,476,001. One Kanye.
All right. So what was your number? Because then we apply our ratio as our last step.
4.2.
4.2. About
split even.
That's awesome. You went from 10% all the way up to 50, bro. You just need a little hate inspiration.
Hate inspiration. Hey, and you didn't hate nearly as many people as you thought you did. Because even within that, there's definitely got to be some overlap, but
yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure there are some people that there's some groups, demographics that didn't really come to your mind for this podcast, but
in the past, I've always said my percent of good versus bad people is 50%. So when we apply my hate ratio to this, it will be under 50%. Mm-hmm. But I think the general dislike is
people who are loud aren't inherently bad people.
My general dislike is still over half of people.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And my true hate is way less than half, which makes sense and I think should be that way.
Right.
I feel like my numbers are close to what I expected. I feel like they're as kind of abstract mathy as this is. I feel like they're pretty on point for me.
Yeah, I think my estimation before we started was somewhere between 35 and 55% of people. So I nailed that.
Hell yeah.
Right smack in the middle.
All right, so then I think we should prepare. I hate 6.5 billion of 8.1. I want a definitive statement. And then 8.1 billion. And then with death ratio.
I close all these tabs.
We learned a lot of weird things too along the way. Death ratio application. One of 4. I would enjoy the death of. So now 6.5. 6. It's so funny. We have to do our episode on Apple's podcast rules still.
Oh, so we can't wish death on people? Is that what you're saying?
No, remember we went through the podcast rules? Their terms of service.
Yeah.
We hit 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Apple TOS episode. I just put it on my phone. All right. So 6.5 billion, which is 650 0 0 0 0 0. It's 6, 5, and 8 zeros, right?
I
think so. 6, 5,
yes,
0,
0 is
0.
correct.
Two triple zeros. Divided by 4. Oh, this is kind of an interesting number. This is a little lower than I expected. Not much.
Divided by 4?
Yeah, my death ratio was 1 out of every 4.
Oh, one out of 4, yeah.
So apply your ratio, and then you're gonna. Then you have to comprise your statement like this: I hate whatever billion of 8.1 with death ratio application of. I would enjoy the death of. Yeah. There you go. Copy paste.
Yep.
Yeah, this is not a dangerous statement at all to make publicly. Perfectly normal.
Perfectly clean and fun.
Enjoy the death of. This is what makes it fun, though. We all want people to live and die, right? 1, 6, 2, 5, 6 zeros. That's honestly, this may sound weird. This feels very satisfying to see written down. Like we've talked about how it feels good to see something written that you believe, you know, especially when you come across it the first time. Like this feels like kind of like an alien thing we stumbled upon that is like it reflects exactly how I feel. This is like pleasant for me to read or discover or write. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's got to be a word for that type of satisfaction. Of like finding the thing you believed in.
Vindication.
Something very, very much in that thorough line. Through line. Who the fuck cares? All right. Would you like to read your statement first or second?
I'll read mine first.
Please do, good sir.
I hate 4.3 billion of 800. I'm sorry.
Please start over. You gotta.
Yeah. Let me get a clean read on this. Yeah. Let me for the folder. Let me get a clean read on this. I hate 4.3 billion of 8.1 billion with death ratio application of 1 out of 10. I would enjoy the death of 430 million people.
We need to make shirts with these. Or imagine getting this tattooed on the side of your fucking head or some shit.
Straight on my neck.
I've been working on my neck tattoo for like 2 months. I should just scrap it and do this.
Go ahead, read yours now.
I hate 6.5 billion of 8.1 billion. With death ratio application of 1 of 4, I would enjoy the death of 1.625 billion people.
All right,
that felt good.
Thanos.
That felt good.
Glad you feel satiated.
I do.
Human souls.
Oh, that was a blast. I loved this episode.
Yeah, that was it went places.
It was smooth sailing.
That's gonna be all for us today.
That is. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Thanks again for listening, everybody. Thank you to Approaching Human for the use of his music. You can find his work on SoundCloud at Approaching-Human.
Thanks, John. To be clear, you'd be in my safe group. You would not be part of the 1.625 human beings. You would survive.
Can I say the same? Who knows? Make sure to check out the show page at Trashcast on Instagram for news and art from the show. Check out Facebook for the memes.
For the memes, you super to check out my trashy art on Instagram at Skyzix, SKYZXCX. If you spend enough time looking at my art, you'll completely understand why I hate so many billions of people. And if you're a super crazy person, we're on YouTube now. And we got everything fucking synced up due to sweet new features on YouTube. It syncs to our RSS feed, so every episode, new and old, is up except maybe 2 episodes, but everything's automatically on YouTube every week too. So if that's your preferred place for content, you can now just catch it there. And we got some new cool stuff coming up. We got a researchy one that I'm going to clue you in on, Ricky. It's about the death of an artist that died for their art that I think will be really cool. We got some
another one
kicking around. What was the last one?
I mean, I feel like it happens all the time. I feel like we've done a podcast about.
Oh, well, this is a group of artists that were murdered. Gunned down for their art.
That is a new flavor.
Yeah, and then we got an icy insane clown posse episode on the back burner. We got a couple cool things coming up.
That's gonna be all for us today. Stay classy, eat trashy.
Go fast, eat trash. I feel like we need one more thing. Good night.